This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Anything discussed during this podcast does not and is not intended to constitute legal advice. Instead, all content is for general entertainment purposes only. Listeners should contact their attorney to obtain advice with respect to any particular legal matter. Listening to, contacting us, or any of the links or resources contained within this podcast and or website does not create an attorney-client relationship. The views expressed during this podcast are those of the individual lawyers in their individual personal capacities only.
All the legal ladies, all the legal ladies, all the legal ladies, all the legal ladies.
Welcome to All the Legal Ladies. Unwind with us as we navigate the fascinating world of legal tales, precedents, and the occasional objection-worthy joke. So, hello, ladies.
Hello.
So we happened to be watching real TV the other day because my husband likes Formula One racing, and my kids were.
I assumed Real TV was another streaming platform. I didn't know that one.
I think there is a platform. There might be. I don't know, but like regular cable TV.
I rarely watch live TV anymore.
Oh, I know. Almost never. By accident, really, what happens.
Commercials came on, you know, and my kids are like, which of course we can fast forward because my husband records these, but they were kind of asking like, what was this for? What's the point of it? And it's like to sell you stuff, which is why we hate it. But do you guys have any favorite commercials that you remember, or do you even see commercials anymore?
I know when Charles was younger, he loved, and it's not a commercial, it's an infomercial. And he was like, Mommy, I want this. I was like, where did you get that from? The infomercial. I was like, oh, no. Oh, but yeah, favorite commercial.
I haven't thought about commercials in so long, but yeah, I have an infomercial story, and it was my baby niece who is now in college. But she absolutely was watching an infomercial and came upstairs and was ready to sell her mother on it. Like, Mommy, I really think you should get this thing. It is going to save you both time and money. She bought it. She was,
Yeah. Maybe
she'd go to door to door for them.
the Budweiser commercial. What's up?
Oh gosh, that is a blast from the past.
What's up?
I have a business minor, and so one of my classes was about marketing, and we had to watch the Super Bowl and like write down things and respond on commercials. Who do we think the market was for? You know, did it achieve its goal? And so I still like watching the Super Bowl. I mean, I do like football, but I also like watching it for that. Like I'll intentionally watch it for the commercials to see if they make it or they fall flat. Or,
Yeah.
But it definitely has changed.
Yeah. Yeah. The raisins. Was that a...
Oh, the California raisins.
Yeah. Mr. Peanut. Some of the older ones are hilarious.
The Old Spice commercials.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Have you ever gotten taken in by an infomercial? I used to watching it when I was newly single.
That's why we have the new wave oven.
My dad bought one of those. Do you use it? Because they like never did.
We do.
I think they bought a juicer too.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Yeah. We use is it the new wave? I think we have the new wave oven, or I don't know what it's called, in the new wave power oven or air fryer or something. So we use like the air fryer one, but we only use the other one when we went to this timeshare and it didn't have a stove. So we brought it along.
Like I always wanted a food dehydrator, and I'm sure that's because of infomercials. Like I thought I was going to dehydrate food. I'm so hilarious. Like I never even did like sourdough bread during the pandemic. I have a Vitamix. Was that because of commercials? I mean, if I think back how long we've had it, it might have been. I might have watched commercials and I don't remember anymore.
I feel like that Vitamix for me was more of jealousy of other people, but it could have also been infomercials because, you know, it was about making soup and like its ability. So I feel like, we do use that. I got taken in by the when hair stuff. That was like conditioner, not shampoo. It's not supposed to suds. Yeah, it was fine. I
like so much of that stuff. It's fine.
I just didn't continue buying it. So
I feel like now it's all stuff I hear about on my podcast ads. It's like, oh, do I want that thing? Do I want to sign up for this like subscription box for whatever? Do I want custom hair care? I still think about that every time I hear a commercial.
Mine currently sitting on my open on my phone from the Sawbones was like trees, like easy growth trees or something. I can't even remember what it's called exactly. But I was like, oh, you could buy trees to be delivered. That would be perfect for your thing. And I was like, I do want one from my front yard. Maybe I should buy one.
Well, like Instagram ads got me. That's how I ended up with like 2 sensory swings in the middle of my living room because it showed up in my Instagram ads. And then I hovered over it. And then Instagram was like, show her this every 30 seconds. And we did buy them. So it was effective on their part. I got like little twinkle lights on my wall. That was another Instagram ad. So
yeah, that's true. Instagram and TikTok is right now. I've been accidentally hovered over the Declan mining bucket. Like they put together, like the gem mining things but TikTok has a shop that they do it. And so like I keep seeing their ads.
Oh, for like tumbling stones or whatever. Oh,
yeah, like you dig it out. Yeah, we went digging. And so now it's like, oh, I could buy that. The kids Trey would enjoy that super, but
I've downloaded games from game ads. So yeah, they're effective.
Never what they say.
It isn't. No.
It's like, I want that game that you were advertising.
Exactly.
Stop changing it on me.
Yeah. Yes. So disappointing. Uninstall.
Or now they have those, I guess they have the books and then they have the reels. Like, so it's, you have to buy it to watch the video, especially on TikTok, where you get snippets of the storyline. It's like dramas and stuff.
Right.
I don't know these.
Oh, it's definitely a lot of werewolf stuff. But
Okay, maybe I've seen those and I've just been like, eh.
Yep. But so
scroll
you
right
have
up.
to like download the thing and then you can watch it for free, but it takes like 30 days to watch it for free because it's one episode a day. And it's like, but I got taken in by the storyline and now I gotta, I want to know what happened to that Luna.
Oh, see, that's
can't
how
make fun-
social media gets you.
This is 2 episodes in a row where I think we're going to have a legitimate segue. Not just a hard left. You're like, and that brings us to, I'm like, does that bring us to often?
Yes, well, the not Attorney General, that was yesterday's U.S. Surgeon General has said we should have a tobacco warning basically on social media, which will be so fast to scroll through. I mean, I guess they're trying to deal with.
When I heard about this, I just started to think, like, have I ever been influenced by a warning label or something? Has a warning label ever told me something I didn't know? And if I didn't know, did I care to know it?
And especially if they're targeting youth, young people, do they even care about warning labels? No.
What would it even look like to have
Right.
a warning? Like, would it be a pop-up before you open it?
I guess it's for parents before they download.
Or would it be like the FBI warning, if you copy this movie, you shall be punished?
Yeah. I don't know.
It would be
just-
difficult.
I feel like my husband and I were talking the other day about, like, social media use and kids and what does that look like? We're at 8 and 6 now. And while I'd like to think that it's,
Far off.
8 years away, it's not.
No.
And, what does that look like and how we realistically only have so much control over it? Because, sure, can we say, oh, you can't download that on your phone if we give them a phone, or you can't access that on a device, but we can't stop them from setting up an account once they figure out how to access that stuff. Because they're like, if you can create an email address, you can claim your whatever age, and you can do all those things, whether you're at a friend's house or the library or maybe
The
on school, depending on what's locked. I mean, I've seen that come up in custody cases where, one parent's mad at the other parent for letting the kid have a TikTok. And it's like, well, they didn't let them have a TikTok. That kid created an email address at school and opened TikTok. And the parent, when they got that one shut down, they could just log into it from.
Right.
We only have so much control.
Yeah, I definitely think there's got to be a teaching, whether it's a school class, which I do think they should do because not all parents teach or understand it.
Yeah.
But also kind of like responsible usage, right? Like my kids get to watch some of the TikToks. Like I specifically save ones that I know that they'll like. And I have a folder, like the music ones, the ones who are singing or...
My daughter likes Josh and Mama videos. So it's like the lady who her cooking is real questionable. Her son who records it. She loves those.
And speaking of school, like our county has now a cell phone use survey, getting feedback from parents and students on the use of cell phones in school. Because, while in school, the students are scrolling through social media, what have you, and it's distracting them from learning. And also but do you know, Snapchat, I guess there are high schools that have Snapchat, and not because Charles oh yeah, that's a fight's posted on Snapchat. And I was like, where on Snapchat? I can't find it. No, it's specifically for the high school. And I was like,
So they have their own page on Snapchat?
and that's how they did, what was it? No, it wasn't Fright Night. What's that? Oh my gosh, the Purge, their own version of the Purge. I said, each school has this on Snapchat. Yeah, it's regulated. I don't know if it's regulated through the school, but you have to have a school email address to participate. And I was like, really?
Who's in charge of this?
Exactly. I don't know.
I'm assuming Snapchat, which is just questionable.
Again, it's this meme I saw the other day. It's I expected to get old to the point where I no longer knew who is famous, but not to the point where I don't even understand what they're famous for. Mm-hmm. Oh, are they a musician? No, they're a people streamer on Dupe. What are any of those words?
They're an influencer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to keep up with, Charles doesn't like TikTok, so he never uses it. He uses Snapchat. Then he's also on Discord.
I understand.
Yeah, Discord's one that I use Discord because we have some gaming groups. Mm-hmm. Our husbands have one, and we did one for D&D. And, because you can put it up with the chat and people can talk while they're watching. But there's so much now going on Discord that I can't keep up with it.
I don't know the different channels and the groups. Yeah. And I was like, what is going on? And, there are concerns how it affects the children in school and their mental health and things of that nature. And I don't think a warning label would do anything about that.
Mm-mm. Yeah. It's I have this idea that I don't want to get my kids phones. For as long as humanly possible. There's someone I follow who said they get their kids smartwatches when they go into middle school. It's I don't have a smartwatch, so I don't know enough about how they work to understand what functionality that would and wouldn't give. I'm just and this is one of the things we were talking at the break about, how accepting my kid's just going to be mad at me. And I tell her that it's okay. It's okay that you're mad at me about this. You're going to be mad at me about a lot more things as you get older, and we can get through you being mad at me. Yeah. But it's I just want to keep all of this away from them as long as possible. And I don't know how realistic that is.
Well, so we're going to my husband and I have talked about getting the dumb phones, not a sponsor, but we have Gab wireless watches. So it's a GPS.
We will take a sponsorship. Feel free to approach us about anything we ever mention on the show.
They're GPS watches. They can only text or call whoever you label in. But they have, for older kids, which we were thinking about middle school, they look like full-fledged cell phones, right? But it's a very content moderated what they can put on there. So you can put on music. So we can allow them to have music on there. We can attach it to one of our streaming platforms. They can do games, but it's only certain games. There's no social media. They can text friends if you approve the numbers, and so part of me thinks that's a nice step into it. Mm-hmm. So they can.
And I'm glad we didn't have social media when I was growing up, but they're going to be, unfortunately, bullied any way you look at it. So with your kids having a dumb phone, friends will bully them about not having.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. And so it's
which of the evils is worse?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and we were talking about, the early days of the internet, how our parents all thought it was great that we understood how to use computers and that we knew how to get on email and all the questionable AOL chat rooms. that we joined completely unsupervised at the same age that I'm trying to keep my kid off this stuff.
Yeah. I think back and remember the amount of dick pics that I got as a teenager, underage, from AOL. And just,
I don't think I ever got any of those, but I do remember using the internet to search for an English project in, I forget which grade English. And did I search Animal Farm? And those were in the early days before Safe Search. I saw some things.
although you could see it if you were up late at night on Skinamax, right? Or HBO. So like kids always had access to things.
I don't know. There's something about, we talk about how like now if you leave your house without your cell phone, you're like, what's going to happen? Who will be able to contact? We were never so connected.
Right.
And the feeling of not being able to disconnect. And like, I just want that for them. I want them to be able to feel disconnected.
But there are some pros to having cell phones, using social media, internet, like in some math classes. Because Charles has a smartphone, he is able to use the calculator on that phone. And so, because they don't have calculators for everybody, or you can purchase another calculator.
You didn't have to spend $129 on a TI-89.
Why is it still $129? It is still the same price that it is ancient technology.
Because they've got the market. They know what they have.
Right.
They're not going down.
Exactly. But then the con is they have that cell phone and they're distracted from what's being taught in class. That's the biggest complaint that Charles has. Oh, he's nice. He's personable. You know, we have no behavioral issues, but he uses his cell phone a lot. That's a behavioral issue. But yeah, I was like, oh.
But then for law school, it was great to have computers with chat because, you know, you get stuck, you don't know an answer. Someone's sending it to you to be able to say it. So, which is what we do even now in our lives, right? We'll send a message to each other on Teams. Hey, what do I need to do for this? Or, hey, I need somebody to bring me this. I'm sorry.
Bang that table.
Bang, 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 bang.
We all do it.
Yes.
Our producer's yelling at us about the amount of hitting on the table that we're doing. And I
feel like it's been a lot in this episode.
It has been. But yeah. See? But I don't know.
It's like, how do you keep cell phones out of the schools at this point?
Yeah.
Like it's not like kids are going to not bring them. I don't know. I think back to when they didn't allow cell phones in the courthouse. And like, okay, so we could leave ours in the car, but you had people who took the bus. So they were stashing their cell phones in the bushes.
Right. Yeah.
Like, do kids even use lockers? Like,
no, you have to pay for a locker.
You have to pay for a locker?
Oh gosh, now I feel old.
Oh, right?
Yeah, so Charles opted.
Of course, do they have books anymore? Like,
no, not really.
Because it's all online.
What do you need a book for?
So,
Pay for a locker.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to check in phones with teachers at the beginning of every class? And like teachers want to be responsible for making sure the right $900 piece of equipment gets returned to the right kid.
Yeah.
So in
Like
some
they don't
of
have enough
his
on their
classes, some of his classes, the teacher has a box that students should put their cell phone in, a bin, basically. Put your cell phones in that bin. But then nothing prevents another person from picking up that cell phone while walking out of class. So I was like, oh.
And the anxiety of being a mother and seeing things like school shootings these days, I want to be able to contact my child or have them contact me.
Right.
But you see teachers complaining that, you know, kids are texting during class. Well, who are they texting? They're texting their parents. Their parents who are texting them first while they know they're in class.
Yeah.
Like, in some ways, the call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, I've been guilty of texting Charles texts me about something, say he wants to stay after school. And so he texts me, and I text him back, and then I realize, oh, you're supposed to be in class. So, yeah, but cell phones are good in case something comes up in an emergency, you can text, but...
Yeah, especially in high school when kids are going all over different places or staying after school for things, like not having to, I mean, I remember having to do that.
Call your parents.
Call your
Who
parents.
is the call coming from? Dad, come pick me up now. Do you accept this call? No.
right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was definitely borderline. I remember having the big car phone that was like the big.
I had a friend whose mom had one of those.
Yeah, and because my dad was had a couple back surgeries, and so I would drive my brother to school, and so they wanted me to have, but it was a backpack, basically a briefcase of a phone. And
I was like, I think I was a senior when I bought my first Nokia brick track phone.
Oh, goodness.
It's very exciting to have.
well, now you have people who want to duplicate landlines without actually doing a landline, so they have a Apple phone sitting at home, and it's like, well, that alone would allow your kids to be able to access all the social media and stuff. So
Yeah.
Right now, I can't figure out how to keep YouTube away from my kids because like they had watched things on YouTube before, but I don't think they realized the wide world of what was on there. And then they were spending time with an older cousin because that's how it happens, right? And now like they just keep accessing all of this garbage. And so I like figured out how to lock the app on my smart TV, but we've got a Fire TV on there too. And I delete YouTube from the Fire TV and it just shows, want to download? Yes. And they click download. And there's no way to stop them from doing that without having to make every single app opening password protected.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, let me just block. I'll sign in on a certain profile with that. Let me just block. No, you can't block videos unless you have a YouTube Kids account. And a YouTube Kids account is only used on the YouTube Kids app. I'm like, I'm about to throw the whole television out. Like, I don't know what else to do. It feels like the world makes it very hard to try to keep them safe from weird stuff. Like it feels like you know how to keep them safe from stranger danger, but how do you keep them safe from like weird YouTubers who are like, exploiting their children? I don't know how to keep them safe from that.
Yeah. And as parents, you have to be diligent. I mean, as much as you try to prevent them from using social media, they're going to use it. They're going to go over a friend's house. They'll use it in school. If their school allows cell phones, they will find a way to be on social media. And even if they're not on social media, their friends are going to tell them what's happening on social media. And so you have to be diligent as a parent and say, look, bullying is going to happen. But talk with your child about it, saying, you know what you are, you're beautiful, you're just doing that positive reinforcement.
You and I handle that differently because it's like my kid was talking about some bullying and I'm like, I've heard what you told me about this kid and he's going to prison someday. I don't know. He doesn't have good judgment. So you're really going to take like his opinion on things? Like this kid's not making good choices and he will be going to prison. Like it's just a matter of time.
But with social media, you get these images. So, the friends will show, oh, this is what you should be wearing. This is how you should be looking. This is what your makeup should be. And say, no, you don't have to be that. You're your own person.
But it's always been something, right? I remember being probably maybe a year older than my daughter now. My parents got me a subscription to Teen Magazine. And, it told me which ab exercises I should be doing.
I had that subscription to 17 or something. Yeah. And I was
but you're never 17 when you have it. You're like 13 getting all these ideas. 16 or 17 trying to check out Cosmo. Like
I was bullied into starting to shave my legs. I remember that because I ended up going to a Catholic school. So we had to wear skirts. And so all of the kids made fun of the fact that I wasn't shaving yet.
Yeah. Why did I start shaving my legs? I think it was because of Catholic school.
We had a swim unit.
Catholic school, let them wear pants.
Don't they by now?
No. Jumpers or skirts.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why my kids don't go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, many reasons my kids don't go, but that's one of them.
I mean, granted, my kid prefers to wear skirts every day, but still, don't make them.
So my kids go to the charter school. There's uniforms and dresses are allowed. So my kid chooses a dress, which is perfectly fine, but they can also wear pants. It's not only this.
Right. But yeah, so a lot of outside influences, not just social media, even though social media is prevalent now, but like you say, YouTube, is YouTube social media?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
But they'll find anything. Yeah. They will find anything. So
really it's more, I think, of navigating that we can ban it now, but having them to be able to feel comfortable talking to us in the future about it, so that
Where
they
it's
come
so
to us.
addictive.
And
I mean, I find myself there are
Scrolling.
weeks where I'll scroll for 3 hours at nighttime, and it's like I really should just be reading a book instead. And put it
I
away.
was listening to something recently, and it was talking about the difference between it's like pleasure and desire, and talking about like the anticipation of something being enjoyable versus it actually being enjoyable, and how those are so different. They scrolling on social media, and how that is all about the anticipation of finding something. Like you're not actually enjoying yourself for most of the time you're there, but you're like hoping that you're going to find that thing that you enjoy.
like the anticipation of cake. And then you actually eat it and be like, oh, this was trash. Or it wasn't.
That feels
it didn't,
so specific.
it didn't live up to my expectations.
What cake offended you, Mike?
Oh my God.
Show us where the cake hurt you.
Oh my goodness. It's like, yeah, that's me with sweets. I'm just like, this weekend I purchased cake, a slice of cake, and it did not live up to my expectations, and I was so disappointed.
I'm so sorry.
I have to admit, I have accidentally ruined myself on certain types of cake. Like my mom will make a box cake, but I, make cakes from scratch now because baking is my fun thing to do. And now it's like, it's gross.
I feel like that's like any dish that we make at home. I'm like, oh no, I'm not ordering that in a restaurant because you're going to make it wrong. Like cocktails too, because we got really into cocktails. And so now I'm like, okay, they're like, we have an old fashioned. I'm like, tell me how you make the old fashioned. Like, are there maraschino cherries on it? Or a mojito especially. It's like, okay, do you make your mojito with Sprite? All right, thank you. I will be ordering something in a bottle.
Yeah. But yeah, just like with cake or drinks, it's the anticipation. Ooh, what's on social media? What's trending now? So you just have to teach your children that social media is not necessarily bad, but you have to use it appropriately, which is hard.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
It's really hard.
Yeah, especially at nighttime for our family, because that's the time that Roger and I are like, oh, we can go catch up on things that we wanted to see, like creators that we've been following a storyline or something. But then you just end up scrolling, and then your kids come in, and all they do is see you scroll.
But then we're like, but you don't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think we should go ahead and continue this discussion of fun drinks for recess. I don't know. That was
Not quite a hard left, but you be the judge. You be the judge. Court costs.
Court calls.
you be the judge.
Yay!
We get to make up the rules.
I mean, that's the whole coffee in that under here somewhere. Where did it even go?
Just cut all of that. All right, you be the judge. Who's most likely to argue with their parents?
Yeah. Well, you live with them.
I live with them.
Yeah, because I just say, okay, yeah, yes, Mom. It's more my mom. Yeah. She's the opinionated one. So I'll be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
In recent years, I'm just you don't have to attend every fight you're invited to.
We're a generational household. Generational household.
There's going to be arguments.
There's going to be arguments.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. My parents are coming next week.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see. I love them. And they're not as meddlesome as some can be, but they have opinions, which I don't mind because everyone is entitled to their opinion. But yeah, it's like.
And most of our fights are about different standards of living, you know, kids versus their now. So hopefully everybody has their own section of the house. So.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Mine will be about the fabric on these chairs are dirty. It's dirty. I was like, yes, because we actually use them.
Yeah. It's different from their time.
Yeah. You mean you don't plasticate things and then don't sit on it?
It's also like, It's like, I used to make my mom really mad saying this because she'd be like, well, your windows are filthy. I'm like, that is not a priority for us. Like having clean windows is just, that used to make her mad. Not a priority for us. Like having clean fabric on your dining room chairs that you use for every meal and not for like state dinners. Not a priority.
It's like,
You're welcome. I used to say, you're welcome. If it matters to you, feel free. But just understand that by doing it one time, I'm not going to keep that up.
Right.
So,
well, what do your friends say? They don't care.
Have we noticed that her chairs are dirty?
Not once.
We've had, nope.
not once.
They're comfy.
I'm pretty sure I've sat in them. Yeah. I think I sat in them a few weeks ago.
I don't think I took anything home from sitting in them. So,
Oh my
win-win.
goodness. That should be an episode.
Crazy things our parents.
Yes. Who's most likely to become a comedian? Not me.
I don't know. I don't think that people actually think I'm funny. I think I'm funny, but I don't think other people do.
No, I don't know that any of us would become a comedian. We have friends that I think we could say, or husbands that would be
Corey.
Yeah.
Corey's got jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's jokes. Yeah, but
Roger really plays into those dad jokes. Those, so
Yeah.
yeah, none. No. Who's most likely to have the messiest desk?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well,
Me.
I don't know. Are there different?
It
at different
depends.
times?
Yeah.
if you open your drawers, can you actually find things in there?
Oh, yeah. No, I just shove all of my mess into different places. So, yeah.
I asked for, I ordered a drawer organizer. So yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and then you used it and then it stayed organized? That's fascinating.
Yeah, that's. I hate it when Alicia's not here and she's like, "Hey, can you find something for me?" You mean I have to go into your office?
Hey, just to sit down at my desk now. It's midway through the week, so it's getting a little, but it's not too bad. But it's like, if it's in that box of papers I put under my desk.
It depends. If I'm preparing for a trial, then it's all over.
Yeah.
My desk is messy, but
Yeah, that's definitely one of those things that for me, I have to have a clean desk when we start the week. And my projects will get stuff, but then I try to clean it at the end of the week. So when I come back in, it's not annoying me.
yeah.
So it is funny how different people are.
Well, it's on my list to clean out those messy drawers that are probably full of things I don't even want anymore. But payroll had to be run first. And here we are.
I mean, we do appreciate getting paid. Thank you.
It just never it's just never the most important thing.
No.
Right. It always gets
I don't want to say it's
down.
not a priority, but it's not as high of a priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to teach Charles. His room is, oh my God, messy. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I like to send pictures, especially of my daughter's room, to my dad. And I'm like, I don't know where she got this from. Clearly her father. And he laughs. He's like, you used to have a path to walk out of your room. Talks about the time that my grandparents were coming over and I was 4 maybe. And he's like, all right, honey, you need to clean up your room. Grandma and Grandpa are coming over. And my response was, we could just close the door. They don't have to come in.
Oh my goodness.
My oldest is like that. And I am things have a place and they should go back in their place. I realize that's my therapy. And so I've gotten better about if you come into my bedroom, you can tell my half and my husband's half. And I leave it alone because I used to do a lot more. But her bedroom, it drives me crazy. She keeps everything and it piles up. And it's like, you have to have a place. So I did threaten, and I might still do it this Sunday, where we're going to take everything out and figure out where it goes. Because I do think once she knows where it goes, it would be easier. Nope.
Because
I'll report back later.
yeah, because he knows where stuff goes, but he's just like, it's inconvenient to put it there. It can just go right here on the floor.
Every couple of weeks, I do go in and I will sort of sit with them And it's like hoping that they're like, even if they don't utilize those skills, that they're like
Learning.
those skills of like, all right, first we're going to pick up all the dirty laundry and put that away. And next we're going to look around. Do we see trash? And we're going to throw the trash away. What is it? The whole Casey Davis. What was her whole thing? I can't remember the name of her book, Struggle Care or whatever, about like how to clean a space and how to do it in steps so it's not overwhelming. It's like, try to teach them some of that. But of course I'm like, oh my gosh, how do they never put their dirty clothes in their hamper? And then I walk into my bedroom like, again,
why doesn't he take the
from
clean
inside the
clothes
house?
out of the hamper?
Yeah.
And then I walk in and it's like, oh, these need to be folded.
So many clean clothes end up back in the dirt. I'm like, you didn't even put that on. Why is it in the hamper? It was on the floor.
So I don't have
They need to
that
do their own
problem.
laundry.
It's just the surfaces of her room are covered. Not the floor, but like the bookcase
both.
and the table and the...
Surfaces.
So I guess I should be lucky then.
I say, there's a trash can. And he's like, it's too small. So now I have to buy a bigger trash can. Do I think the trash will go in it? Yeah.
You should get him like the outside size one that's going to take up like half his room just to be like, here you go.
It's like, boy. So while he's been away, I've organized his closet and said, and I'm going to say, this is how I want it to stay. You are only allowed one dirty clothes basket. And that's just specifically for dirty clothes.
Does he do his own laundry?
Yes.
Okay.
He does his own laundry. And I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, if he was here, he might have the messiest desk. But I don't know. During the summer, he didn't.
Well, because he was organizing the rest of ours.
I mean, there's a reason he's my favorite intern. Never once left his soda cans around for other people to pick up. I will not name any names.
And on that note, childhood traumas and hear from the attorneys. Right on our
Things that traumatized me. This is from TA Random Numbers. In my first week at my current firm, my boss walked into my office 5 seconds after I had let out a massive smelly fart.
Ooh.
The look of horror on her face is something I'll never forget. She literally stopped mid-sentence and walked out. She didn't go into my office for weeks after.
Oh my goodness.
That's
pretty bad.
It's hilarious.
Well, that's why you knock, especially if it's closed. But
Yeah.
I haven't had anything that embarrassing. I've had my stomach growl during the middle of a trial. But
And it's so different. Part of me is curious how long ago it was.
It says 6 months ago it was posted, but who knows when it happened.
Because I was backstage room momming my son's dance. And all of a sudden there was this odor of foul eggs emanating. And it was a girl. She was like, I'm so sorry. My stomach really hurts. I'm like, people were like...
Trying to think. My husband was telling this story, and I can't remember. Was it getting allergy shots? I think it was getting allergy shots with the kids. And, one of the children emitted something loudly enough that it was heard. And he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, the kid apologized. And then, 10 seconds later, same child who did that was like, why does it smell weird in here? You are the reason it smells weird in here. It was just so unselfconscious, had no idea of the cause and effect between those two things.
Oh my God.
You're the reason.
We have started telling our children that if it smells really bad, you need to go use the bathroom. Because something should not be inside of you anymore.
yes. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I guess if we ripped one on the mic in court, that would be really embarrassing.
Would be. I once sat in chocolate. That was fairly embarrassing. I had on a light gray suit. And I don't know. I'm certain it was chocolate. Did I have a little piece that dropped in my car or something? But I saw it as I was getting ready to go into court. And I'm like a county, there's nothing I can do about it. So I just went through my day pretending like I didn't know it was there. I absolutely knew it was there. And then someone told me about it later. I was like, oh goodness. Where did that come from? What are you going to do? It's like you try to go in the bathroom and scrub at it. You're just going to make a big wet spot and make it worse. So it's like you just have to fake it till you make it home to change.
Or you look so great, then you drink a coffee on the road and whatever.
Yep.
Well, thank you for tuning in to this episode of All the Legal Ladies. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok. If you are watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and listen to the audio on your favorite digital streaming platform. And if you have to fake it till you make it because you got chocolate on your butt, then you should. Till we see you next time.